All right, everyone, welcome back to Newcastle Fans TV. And today we're going to be looking at the pre-match preview for Newcastle United versus Chelsea.
I don't need saving. Could you leave me alone?
So after a long international break, we're back in the Premier League and Newcastle are taking on Chelsea in the early kickoff on Saturday afternoon. And it looks to be a tough one for us, unfortunately. We're coming up against a tough opposition. And speaking of the opposition, let's touch on them and their form this season. So they're currently sitting at the top, near the top of the table, not quite at the top yet, although they could go top with 3 points against us. And they've had a fantastic start to the season. They're only not top because other teams have pulled off a few more wins instead of draws around them. But if we have a quick look at some of their results across all competitions this season so far, we can see how well they're doing, having only lost one in all competition, and that was against Liverpool of all teams. Obviously, a very tricky team to play against. They could go top, like I say, with 3 points against us, and they've got the joint best goal difference in the league with Tottenham, and they have scored the most goals this season with 20. I know that's surprising considering that Tottenham are bagged 6 against Man United, but that's just how things go. Like I say, they got the best goal difference in the league, and they've also got a rock solid defence, and that is down to obviously them spending a lot of money in the summer transfer window, spent over £200 million on new players, and sometimes gambles don't pay off, as we've seen with Joe Linton so far, but it seems that the investment at Chelsea is going in the right direction, especially at the back. They were a bit unsure at the back last season, and they've targeted a few players to shore up that defence. They've conceded 3 goals twice this season, 2 different goalkeepers in goals for those games. One was Willy Caballero, who's obviously long past his best and probably 3rd, maybe even 4th choice goalkeeper at Chelsea now that Petr Cech's come out of retirement. And obviously Kepa Arrizabalaga, the world's most expensive goalkeeper, believe it or not. He conceded 3. I believe that was against Southampton, obviously a few errors from him there. So they decided to bring in Edouard Mendy from League One. Obviously, Newcastle fans familiar with the French league and how players can perform from that. And he has absolutely transformed this Chelsea side. He's had 4 appearances in the Premier League and kept 3 clean sheets, conceding 1 goal in 1 game. And in all competitions, he's had 8 appearances and kept 6 clean sheets. That's incredible for a goalkeeper. And obviously, he's got a good backline in front of him now. Thiago Silva coming in from PSG. That captaincy, that experience to marshal a backline, and obviously Kurt Zouma looking in form this season as well. But the man I want to focus on that could be dangerous if he's fit to play against us is Ben Chilwell. Obviously, England's starting left back. He's been a nuisance for us in the past, and he was fantastic at Leicester as well. In the Prem, he's had 5 appearances this season, chipping in with 2 goals and 2 assists going forwards, as well as keeping 3 clean sheets at the back, which is not bad. But like I say, he might not be fit to face us, which would be excellent, considering that we might struggle against this Chelsea team. I've seen some Chelsea fans suggesting that Emerson might start at the left-back position, who's maybe slightly more attacking-minded and slightly weaker defensively than Chelsea. So we'll see if we can exploit that come Saturday afternoon. Timo Werner bagged 2 goals against Ukraine, a tidy little brace for him, although they were both inside the box finishes, which we're so accustomed to seeing him finishing now. Hakim Ziyech as well from Morocco, bagging 3 goals in 2 games and chipping in a couple of assists as well. He really looks like he's picking up his form this season. He could be a one to look out for to unpick our defence. And even N'Golo Kanté was chipping in with goals as well. He scored against Portugal in France's 1-0 win in India international break. On the other hand, obviously Newcastle don't have too many international superstars to shout about. Statistically, we're doing quite well. Unusually, we are higher up the table than we usually are at this time of the season, but it doesn't feel like it. We've played some shocking football this season, and that was epitomised in what I think is the worst defeat we've had this season to Southampton. Might not have been in terms of the scoreline, but in terms of performance, we just absolutely capitulated there, and I can really see us struggling against this Chelsea team. However, in the past 10 years, I was looking back, obviously when Mourinho managed Chelsea, he always used to hate coming to St James. It was a tricky ground for him to come and win at. And obviously we've had some memorable games in the past against Chelsea. Ones that spring to mind, Papi Cissé's banana goal. And of course, Moussa Sissoko, I believe it was his debut where he scored a brace against Chelsea. But St James's Park is a bit of a fortress for us when we play Chelsea. So in the past 10 years, we played them 9 times. We've lost to them twice, drawn twice, and won 5 times. So for the 10th time, we're going to hopefully make that number 6. But it is looking unlikely under Steve Bruce. I have to say we are playing some pathetic football at the minute. Matty Longstaff should be fully match fit. He obviously came off the bench against Southampton, but we are having a couple of doubts of some key players that we might be missing. First off, primarily, probably the biggest miss, if it turns out he's not going to be fit for us, is Callum Wilson. Obviously, our top goal scorer of the season, looking worth every penny that we spent on him in the summer transfer market. An absolute bagsman for us. Near the top of the goal scoring charts in the Premier League, could be gunning for that golden boot if he manages to stay fit, because where else are the goals going to come from in this side? And I believe Ryan Fraser is also struggling with his fitness as well, which is no surprise to anyone because he's constantly injured or never at full fitness. As for the rest of the team, I think it's pretty much the same as the last game against Southampton. Everyone that was available for that game should be available for this game. Let me know in the comments if I've missed anyone there. But for me, I think the midfield should be having Isaac Hayden starting in there at least, maybe even Matty Longstaff to hassle those Chelsea players and not give them time on the ball. Gone for that 5 at the back formation in the past couple of games. It has worked for us a little bit, and it's a nice, tight, compact formation where we don't let teams play around us, or we try not to anyway, to some degree of success sometimes. But with Chelsea's style of play, we've seen they like to score in and around the box. They're not too keen on taking those long shots on. So Timo Werner should be hopefully neutralised by that deep back line in the back 3 centre-halves, if that's what Steve Bruce opts to play for. However, they are dangerous from set pieces. We've already seen this season, and that is one of our weaknesses, defending set pieces. So they might be dangerous from those kind of situations, but hopefully Steve Bruce realises that and picks a team that is physically capable of dealing with the threats like Zuma, Thiago Silva, and even Olivier Giroud if he starts, or even Tammy Abraham, who we know is excellent in the air as well. In terms of Miguel Almiron, his agent this week is saying, not explicitly, but maybe hinting that he could be looking for a January transfer. He's unhappy with the amount of minutes he's getting this season, and I honestly don't blame him. I mean, I think he's behind Jeff Hendrick in terms of minutes played, which is absolutely farcical considering the amount of money we paid for Almiron and the impact he's had on the club, rather than as opposed to Jeff Hendrick. He's chipping in with goals and assists. Yes, he's not the most consistent player, but he'll run his arse off for 90 minutes or even more if you ask him to. So I'm not surprised that he's asking for a way out. So it'll be interesting to see how Steve Bruce tackles that. Will he start Almiron to satisfy his minutes, or will he shun him completely? Will he bench him? Will he drop him from the side for having his agent speak out like that? Guess we'll wait and see. Let us know in the comments who you would start against Chelsea. Would you go with a back 5 with Jacob Murphy and Jamal Lewis as the wing backs? Matt Ritchie's coming back to fitness. Would he have a place in the starting 11 for you? And would you start Miguel Almiron and even Alan Saint-Maximin, who's been out of form the past couple of games? He hasn't looked like a shadow of the player that we've seen in the past. We've had some happy memories in the past against Chelsea. Remember last season, 90th minute winner, Isaac Hayden, back post, sticks it in the back of the net. Absolute scene. So hopefully we'll see another performance like that. A nice determined one, grinding out a result. Even a draw, honestly, I'd be happy with at this time of the season. We need to pick up points against teams like these when we're dropping points against teams like Southampton, unfortunately, and that's just the way the cookie crumbles. But in terms of a prediction, I'm going to go for a 2-0 Chelsea win. I think we'll try and grind out a result, but I think they're going to pop up with a nice bit of talent that we just can't deal with. We haven't got the ability in the squad. They've paid 75 million for Kai Havertz and 40-odd million for Timo Werner and God knows what for Ziyech as well. They all look like talented players that could pick a defence given 90 minutes on the ball. So I can't see us picking up a result here, unfortunately. Again, in the comments, let us know what you think the score is going to be on Saturday afternoon. Do you think we're going to pull off a surprise 3 points, grind out a point, or crash to yet another defeat under Steve Bruce? And if you like the shirt that I'm wearing, it's brand new. 3 Retro have stocked up on some new kits, some new classic kits. The link is in the description, as always, down below. And don't forget to join us on Newcastle Fans TV for our Saturday coverage of the game. We should have the live watch along with the lads on Newcastle Fans TV, their live stream, and of course the post-match reaction, the group reaction, the player ratings, and of course the last word as well. So don't forget to like this video if you've enjoyed, chip in with a bit of debate in the comments down below, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.
I don't need saving.